At 24, David Goggins weighed almost 300 pounds. Just 90 days later, he had lost over 100 pounds and was stepping into Navy SEAL training. This wasn't a Hollywood transformation or a slow, steady journey. Goggins was broke, overweight, and stuck working as an exterminator, killing cockroaches in fast food restaurants and living off milkshakes and donuts. His body was breaking down, his spirit was low, and the dream of doing anything greater felt out of reach. He failed the military's weight requirements and was turned away more than once. Then one night, while showering after a shift, he overheard a Navy SEAL documentary on TV. The phrase, "toughest training in the world," echoed in his head. He looked in the mirror and realized he didn't just need to lose weight. He needed to completely rebuild who he was. To get into SEAL training, he had to lose more than 100 pounds in just 3 months, and somehow he did. David Goggins was born in 1975 in Buffalo, New York, and grew up in an environment marked by hardship. Standing 6'2", his frame carried the extremes of both ends of fitness. At one point, he was nearly 300 pounds, and later, he would strip down to a lean 190. From the start, life was a grind. His father's abuse forced Goggins, his mother, and brother to escape and start over. School wasn't much easier. He struggled with learning disabilities, stuttering, and the feeling of always being behind. By his late teens, he tried the Air Force pararescue program but was pulled out due to health issues. Defeated, he slid into a cycle of dead-end jobs and fast food binges. Working nights as an exterminator, he'd often fuel himself with milkshakes and donuts, then collapse into another day of the same routine. It wasn't just weight gain. It was a body breaking down, a man drifting further from the version he wanted to be. The turnaround came only when he realized the military would never let him in at that weight. That's when discipline replaced despair, and the body you see today, tall, hardened, built for endurance, was carved out through pain, persistence, and relentless willpower. When Goggins committed to losing the weight, his training was nothing short of brutal. He started with the one thing he hated most: running. At first, even a few minutes left him gasping, but he pushed through day after day. Those short jogs became long miles, and before long, double-digit runs were a normal part of his mornings. But he didn't stop at cardio. He built a weight routine designed to keep his skin tight as the pounds dropped. Using lighter weights for massive sets, sometimes 100 reps without putting the bar down, he forced his muscles to stay active while fat melted away. Push-ups, pull-ups, squats, and lunges became daily punishments, not polished workouts. The goal wasn't size, it was endurance and toughness. Even now, his training follows a relentless weekly cycle. Monday, upper body punishment. He opens the week with pull-ups, often in sets of 10 until he's crossed the 100 mark. Each set is paired with push-ups, then dumbbell presses for chest and shoulders. To finish, he holds planks until his arms and core refuse to cooperate. For Goggins, this isn't about building a beach body. It's about making sure his upper body never fails under pressure. Tuesday, long miles and core fire. The second day starts before sunrise with a 10-mile run. No headphones, no pacing partner, just silence and suffering. After the miles are logged, he heads straight into core drills, weighted sit-ups, Russian twists, and leg raises. The stomach burns, but the point isn't comfort. It's teaching his body to keep moving when everything hurts. Wednesday, bodyweight circuit. This day is pure grind. Goggins uses pyramids. 1 pull-up, then 2, climbing up to 10 before working his way back down. Burpees, air squats, and push-ups fill in between. By the end, it's hundreds of reps. It looks simple, but the volume crushes most people long before he's done. Thursday, speed and suffering. Hill sprints that torch the legs, jump squats that leave him gasping for air, battle ropes slammed until his arms feel like rubber. Thursday is about intensity, short bursts that test lungs, heart, and willpower. He trains to be explosive, even when tired, because life won't always wait for you to catch your breath. Friday, strength underload, deadlifts for raw pulling strength, farmer's carries with heavy weights in each hand, weighted lunges down the length of the gym. He calls it living under the load. It's not about numbers on the bar, it's about refusing to crumble when the weight feels unbearable. Saturday, endurance engine, hours on the bike, often 20 miles or more, followed by stair climbs or light jogs. Once the cardio is done, he spends extra time stretching and opening tight joints. For Goggins, mobility is survival. If his body locks up, it breaks. Sunday, active recovery. There's no lying on the couch. He straps on a weighted vest for a 4-mile ruck march. At every mile marker, he drops for 50 push-ups, then gets back up and keeps walking. When he's done, he finishes with long planks, holding on until the burn feels unbearable. This cycle repeats week after week, built not on variety or fun, but on discipline and suffering. For Goggins, training isn't about the body you see in the mirror. It's about the mind you forge when the body wants to quit. When it came to losing over 100 pounds, Goggins knew food had to be stripped down to the basics. He didn't follow trends or meal prep hacks. He went to war with his own habits. At first, he cut his daily intake to as little as 800 to 1,000 calories. For most people, that's unthinkable, but for him, it was the only way to meet the Navy SEAL deadline, Monday to Friday, strict fueling. Mornings began with plain oatmeal or a couple of egg whites. No sugar, no extras. Lunch was grilled chicken breast with spinach or steamed broccoli. Dinner was often salmon with brown rice, or another lean protein paired with vegetables. Snacks weren't really snacks, just a handful of nuts, some berries, or a protein shake if recovery demanded it. Every calorie had to earn its place. Saturday, slight flexibility. On weekends, he might allow a small variation, swapping chicken for lean steak or adding sweet potato to fuel a long run. But even then, there was no fried food, no sodas, no processed carbs. It was still clean, simple, and disciplined. Sunday, reset. Sundays often mirrored his active recovery training. Lighter food, lighter portions. He might keep it simple with eggs, vegetables, and lean meat. The idea was to end the week on control, not indulgence. Over time, once the weight was gone, he shifted into a more sustainable rhythm. He followed a keto-style approach, about 40% protein, 40% fat, 20% carbs. He leaned on intermittent fasting, cutting meals by 6:30 p.m., and training fasted the next morning. Protein shakes, omega-3s, and essential amino acids filled the gaps. For Goggins, food was never about pleasure. It was fuel for war, and discipline was always the main ingredient. Now, here's the truth. Most people can't, and shouldn't, copy Goggins' exact routine. An 800-calorie crash diet with double-digit runs will break more bodies than it builds, but the lessons are still powerful if you scale them. Start with the food. Cut out sugar, fried foods, and processed carbs. Build every meal around lean protein, vegetables, and water. Instead of starving yourself, create a steady calorie deficit of 300 to 500 calories a day, enough to lose weight safely while keeping your energy. On training, don't chase his mileage right away. Begin with daily walks or short jogs, and add bodyweight exercises like push-ups, squats, and planks. As you get stronger, increase distance, add weights, or try simple circuits. And most importantly, borrow his mindset. Do one hard thing every day. That might be waking up earlier, finishing an extra set when you want to quit, or taking the stairs when it's easier to sit. Goggins built his body by stacking these choices until discipline became automatic. You can do the same, at your own scale, in your own life. David Goggins' weight loss wasn't about luck or quick fixes. At 24, he was nearly 300 pounds, stuck in a cycle of bad food and dead-end jobs. 90 days later, he had lost over 100 pounds and forced his way into Navy SEAL training. The method was simple but brutal: relentless cardio, high-rep strength work, and a diet stripped down to pure fuel. He turned suffering into discipline, and discipline into transformation. For anyone watching, the takeaway isn't to copy his extremes. It's to learn his mindset. Clean up your meals, move your body every day, and commit to one thing that challenges you. Stack those wins, and change becomes inevitable. Would you ever push yourself the way Goggins did, or is his method too extreme? Let us know in the comments below.